Hey, Tony Gaskins here. Wanted to pop in and talk about the mama's boy. Now, it's a serious situation here, and as I'm sitting here, I'm like, whoa, man, might be stomping on my own toes here because my wife is such an amazing mother, and I guess it's two sides to this because you have amazing mothers. Okay, I just figured it out as I was talking. You have the amazing mothers who they are there to teach and to guide, but they also can hold their son accountable. They're gonna check them. So my son wrote a letter one time in school. The letter didn't get passed. The teacher read over his shoulder what he was writing, and it was a curious question, the curious cat, to a young lady. The teacher took the letter, told my wife, my son lost his Xbox for 5 months. He was writing lines, he was reading books. He read more books in that 5 months than most people are literally read in their lifetime. I ain't telling you no lie. And so she's that type of mom. Now see, on the other side, you have this type of mom who her son gets in trouble and she cursed the teacher out for catching him. You see what I mean? That is what this other one, the latter, is what produces the mama's boy. And so that is what a lot of women are dealing with today. That's what we're dealing with in our society today. A lot of men dealing with it, meaning, understand this, I don't want to do business with no soft mama's boy. You see what I mean? I don't want my daughter, I don't have a daughter. But if I had a daughter, I don't want her with a mama's boy. And I tell my wife all the time, I say, listen now, you got to be careful. You got to be careful because you be around here, your sons ain't going to want to get married because it ain't going to be nobody to compare to you. And I tell her that all the time. And so we have to find a balance, teach them what they need to know, don't serve them hand and foot. So this is what I want you to understand, because it's a lot of women don't want a mama's boy, don't want to date a mama's boy, marry a mama's boy, but yet making a mama's boy themselves by the way they raise their son. And this is how it happened. It's just like the book of Proverbs say, you spare the rod, you spoil the child. See, a lot of women get into a place where their son becomes their man. See, I got to make sure that I'm my wife's man. But if you don't have a husband, if you don't have a man, but you have a son, your son could end up subconsciously taking over and being that masculine energy that you need in your life. And so you will start to, I'll be ready to snap. If I see my son get a bigger plate than me, hold on now, what's going on? What happened here? And I got to check him and let him know, hey, I'm the man of this here household. He get his food before my age. What's going on? And he be sitting there laughing and chuckling, But I have to check those things because, as a woman, you'll take and start making your son the king. So imagine if that happened to me a couple times living in the house. Imagine a woman who she don't have a man in the house. Her husband is not there. The child's father is not there. So the son, he getting king treatment. 12, 13 years old, he telling her what to do. He telling mama how to pay the bills. Mama, this is what you ought to do with the bills. 16 years old, I'm the man of the house, mama. Yeah, baby, you the man of the house. I'm glad I got me a good man. And a lot of mothers are marrying their sons, making their son their king, making their son their husband. The way they hug their son is too sensual. The way they stand next to their son is too sensual. They ironing his socks, ironing his drawers. I'm just exaggerating because me saying that, y'all take it literal and be like, whew, I made the cut. I don't iron his socks. I don't iron his underwear. Whew, so he's not talking about me. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Okay, that was exaggeration. And so, I done seen these mamas go and take naked pictures with their son. Son old enough to have an erection, and they in the picture naked, hugging up. covering the body parts. And I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? And really, subconsciously, she just want to show her naked curves to try to bait a man. That picture don't make no sense in the world. That picture don't make no sense in the world. And they do it to us. You go in there to the photographer. When I say us, I mean black people. It's the only people I see mom on there butt naked with their child. I ain't never seen no Asian on there. I ain't never seen no Hispanic. I ain't never seen no white person butt naked with their child. They do it to us. You go in there and the photographer got a brand idea for you. How about y'all just take off your clothes? And it just shows unity, shows togetherness. And then you over there, you know what that is? That would be, I like that idea. And this is what's happening. And so it's just like when the same thing happened when I remember when I was in college and went to deal with this ex from high school that I had dealt with in the 9th grade. And I went over to her place, checking on her, hanging out, and we were kind of talking. This was before I met my wife. It was probably my first year of college, first break home. And she had a son. And she was living in these apartments. And I remember she told me, she said, I'm on Section 8 or something. And I can't have a man here. So like, if a man stay the night or if a man living here, my neighbor can call the hotline, call the tip line, and I lose my benefit. And I'm like, wow. So the government got it set up to where if you gonna struggle, you got to struggle alone. Like y'all just can't be no poor family with a man in the house. You got to be, your man can't be there. So not only you in poverty, but you don't have that masculine energy, that male figure to be a role model to your children. So you can only get these benefits. And also what they saying is, if you're a man, your big grown musty butt need to be out working and making enough money to provide for your family. That's also what the government's saying, which is some truth to that. But think about it now. So it's this removal of the man. I remember a long time ago when we was starting our family and we had to get food stamps. Oh yeah, I come from food stamps. Somehow, somewhere I was talking to my wife and she was like, the lady asked me, am I single or do I have you on child support or something like that? And that the food stamps is paid back by the man through child support. And I was like, hold on now, what kind of system this is? Now I know all different states is different, but this is what I heard, what came across to me. And so my wife, she was reporting as single, to getting food stamps. And yeah, we come from food stamps. We were living in the hood, and I started to notice this to where a lot of women who don't have a man in the house, that's reinforced by the government. Because when that man removed, you getting certain benefits. You getting more money. You getting certain benefits to where you want to keep that situation. Unless you absolutely have a steal of a deal in a man that make you come up out of that. Or you get to a place to where you can earn enough money. I remember that young lady that I mentioned living in an apartment, she was a waitress. She was like, some days I make $12. It was a little deadbeat restaurant that didn't a lot of people like to eat at because it had roaches. And so she was like, someday I make $12. And I was like, wow. And so eventually she went to the pole, went to dancing. And that's a reality as well. So now imagine this. Imagine a mom who, she trying to make ends meet. Like she trying to make ends meet. She's stressed. Her relationships have all gone bad. Some of the time, she have, different child fathers. So she may have, I've dealt with women who have 4 or 5 different fathers. And it wasn't that she was loose booty 901. It's that she was trying to find love and she would get in a relationship and do what grown folks do. And she'd be on her bike and it'd be unprotected. And she believe in this man and all the lies he telling her. She get pregnant and then he takes off. And each relationship could have been 2 years long, 3 years long, 5 years long. The kids, the oldest child, old enough to be the daddy of the youngest. She been looking for love. It's women like that. So imagine when you in this situation, what's happening is so many single mothers that son brings that male energy. And the woman becomes obsessed with raising this boy to be better than his daddy, than his no good, sorry daddy. That she starts to cater to him and she starts to do too much for him. And instead of teaching him at every age, whatever the max he can learn at that age, she will coddle him and she will do for him. So, he 13 and she still heating up his food in the microwave for him instead of him going to do it himself. It's certain stuff he should know how to do. By now he could cook eggs. He should be able to cook eggs. He should be able to cook bacon. She's still in there, Chef Girl RD, doing everything, cooking everything, doing everything for him. He should be learning how to wash dishes, how to wash clothes, how to do some of these things, but yet she doing everything for him. Or she teach him, but then still don't hold him accountable in his behavior. He capable of getting straight A's, but she let him bring home C's. And the reason being is because she don't want any enemies. Like, she feels like the world is already against me. Men already don't want me, can't do right by me when they get me. My family, we ain't that close, or this and that and this and that. I don't want my son to hate me. I don't want my son to leave me the way his daddy left me. So if I chastise him, if I hold him accountable, he gonna hate me. And that's what she thinking, but that's because she don't understand parenting. And that's because she wasn't really raised. She just grew. And so that's what's happening. So a lot of the men you meeting today come from that type of mama. This overbearing, coddling mother who cared for him. He could do no wrong. She served him hand and foot. He got away with everything he wanted to get away with. And he only got slapped or whooped when she just had it to hear and was fed up and just boom, caught him with old slap or old backhand. But that ain't do nothing for him because the next 99 offenses he did, she let slide. And then on the 100th offense, she slapped the sense out of him. So because she wasn't consistent, he didn't learn a lesson. And because she coddled him and she took care of him, and see, this is what I try to tell y'all, a woman's influence is very real. And women use this influence. And so my wife, she can use it on me and she can use it on our sons, influence our lives. And I always have to check her and just make sure that it's a healthy influence. And I tell her all the time. And see, that's what happens when a man is in the house, because we could see things differently. So I tell my wife all the time, like my son, he playing soccer. And I tell her, I say, listen, you got to be quiet. Like, let the boy make a decision. Let the boy make a decision. Let the boy make a mistake. Let him get burnt and let him learn from it. You keep yelling out every play. You keep telling him everything coming. You setting him up for failure. Because what's going to happen when he finally get out there and we on a field that's big enough to where we got to sit in the stands, and he out there on the field and he can't hear you. So I'm able to hold my wife accountable and tell her, this what it take to be a man in this world. But imagine if a woman don't have that. She just doing whatever her heart says do. And as a mother, that's going to be nurturing, overbearing, caring, loving, forgiving, and that forgiveness that get took out of hand, she get taken for granted. You see what I mean? So it get to a place to where a lot of these grown men was raised by a mama that turned the house over to him when he was 13. But she became his best friend. She helped him play the women, the young ladies. She aided and abetted in him being a dog. Like, she met a different girl every week, and hey baby, hey sweetie, it's great to meet you. So nice to meet you. You're such a doll. And then he bringing over another one the next week. Hi, so nice to meet you. It is just it is so rare that he brings someone home. Like, so you must be special. She lying through her teeth for her son. Her son cheat on the girl. The girl called her mama thinking the mama her friend. I feel like he was with another woman, with another girl that night, and this in high school. And because I was calling him, and he was not answering, and I knew he was not asleep because I drove past your house and his light was on. And I just feel like he was on the phone with another girl. And it's been rumors circulating that he's been talking to this other girl. And then the mama, she's like, no, baby, he was asleep. He was asleep. She know he was talking to another girl. She was asleep. He was asleep. He actually fell asleep on the couch. That's why his room light was on. You see what I mean? And then it's mamas who they will see their son dog a woman out. The woman will call the mama as an ally. Now this as adults. I was just talking about high school. This as adults. The woman will call the mama to be an ally, to tell her about her son. And the woman crazy enough to believe that the mama gonna take her side. And so the mama tell the girl, the woman, well, that's just men. His dad and I went through that for 20 years. And every man I've ever dated, see, this is what I want you to understand, is I'm older than you. I'm much older than you. I'm old enough to be your mom. Just like I'm his mom, I'm old enough to be your mom. And I want you to understand, not to throw myself under the bus, but I have been around. When I say around, I mean like a merry-go-round and round and round. And let me tell you, this is men. This is how they are. So understand this. As long as my son is not putting his hands on you, and as long as like you have food on the table, and like, you get what I'm saying? Like, please understand. You can leave if you want, but you'll be going through twice as worse with the next man, because I raised my son to be a good man. And this man done cheated on you. He yelling at you. He cussing you out. He dogging you out. And his mama gonna tell you to stay with him. Then you have the woman, the girlfriend, fiance, wife, who finds the strength to leave after being taken advantage of by this man over and over and over. Then the mama becomes his committee. She keep calling the woman. Hey, I just miss you and love you so much. I want my family back. I want you and my son to be back together. I want us to all be at the baseball games with the little ones, little Johnny, little Sarah. I really want to see my grandchildren have a 2-parent home. And, the woman, she like, man, you know what? Maybe she right. Maybe I need to make this thing work. And so the mom becomes her son committed. And this is the thing. This is how a lot of moms are. A lot of moms, they don't care about your heartache and what you're going through as a woman. They don't care about that woman's heartache and what she's going through. They care about their son's happiness. So just like when he was a little boy, she bought him toys to console him for his daddy not being there, or his daddy not being present, being there but not being present, or not being a good example, or not taking out that time and playing with his son and spending time. The same way she bought him teddy bear, stuffy. My 6-year-old, he into stuffies. He loves stuffies, but then he also loved dinosaur. He loved dinosaur. He got 1 million dinosaurs. And then all the characters from the movie, Godzilla, and all the characters from the Godzilla movie. He loved this stuff. And so he played with it, And now he got a little dog named Bella, or Morky. And he loved her. Just walking around like she just like one of them stuffies. And she only 2 pounds. And we got that for him because that's stuff he liked. Guess what? A mom or do that same stuff for their son. And just like she did that, now that he's an adult, she can't buy him a stuffy. She can't buy him no dog. She can't buy him no toys. So what she want now, she want a human to be his human teddy bear, which I'll do a video on the human teddy bear. That's a concept, that I just kind of came up with one day, and I'll tell you about it. But this right here, the mama's boy. So she want a human. So she want this woman to be her son play toy, to keep her son happy. He mad, let him hit on you. He horny, let him cheat on you. He's upset, let him leave you for a few days, come back, stay with me for a week or two, and then you just be right there. He's coming back, honey. Don't worry about it. He's coming back. You're going to have your family back. Just let me have him for a couple weeks and get in his head. And so that's the role that a lot of moms play. So now this here mama's boy, what's happened is, it's like the Oedipus complex. To where this man, he in love with his mama. He want to date his mama. So what happens is a lot of men are really looking for a wife, looking for a mother that they could sleep with. That's what a lot of men are looking for today, unfortunately. And what I mean by that, and yes, that sounds like incest, but that's what a lot of men are looking for. They're looking for a mother that they can sleep with. That's what they calling a wife. They ain't looking for no wife. Because see, a wife, yeah, you can sleep with her, but she's going to hold you accountable in ways that your mama won't. So men looking for a mother that they can sleep with. And so what that means is, how that breaks down is, the man won't, see, with a mama, you could go to jail 10 times. She coming to bail you out 10 times. Mama and grandma. You can break the window. She putting tape up over it. She putting the garbage bag and taping the garbage bag on it till she say what the money, or she calling somebody if she got the money to fix it. She gonna look at you. She gonna give you a look. She might yell at you, might curse at you, but she hugging you and buying you a gift the next day. See, a mama forgive everything. Mama forgive everything. You could do whatever. You on trial for taking lives. I seen the mama, son, just the guilty is all outdoors for taking 2 lives, and she on there, give my son freedom, let him go, he is innocent. They got all the evidence. It's like, ma'am, your son is guilty. He need to be under the prison. They got all the evidence. We don't need no CSI, NSICS, Colombo, Matlock. We don't need none of that. Everybody know your son guilty. And a mama will be on there. Give him another chance. He went in there and he's changed his life in these 6 months that he's been waiting on this trial. He deserves freedom. And that's a mom. See, but that's not a wife. See, a wife is supposed to hold her husband accountable. You want to cheat? I'm gone. You want to be in illegal activity? I'm gone. You want to do this, do that? I'm gone. You see what I mean? So men looking for a mama that they could sleep with. Want you to treat him just like his mama treated him. And the mama, she was weak. She was ignorant to the proper way of parenting. It wasn't her fault. It just what she went through that put her in that place. And so, and I see it, even with my sister. She got a little son and she want a man and she don't have a man. And she said, that's my boy. That's my boy. So her son, he could be, that boy could terrorize. You hear me? He tear up everything in the world. And she barely holler at him. Her daughters, let her oldest daughter do something. Oh my goodness. Rip her a new one. You hear me? And that's how moms be. So guess what? My nephew, he gonna be a mama's boy. And I done told my sister that. So y'all say, oh, you talking about your family? Everything I say on here, I say to somebody's face. Y'all must forgot who you listening to. Yeah, my family already know. You gonna get talked about with Tony. He gonna put you in one of his stories. You hear me talking about me and my wife. I tell our business. I tell everybody business. Hey, let it come. Only thing I don't tell is my client's business. You never hear me say my client's name and talk about their business. But I told him, sister, hey, gonna be a mama's boy. And that's what's happening today. So here's what this mama's boy is. With the mama's boy, when you find one, this is really the type of man that he got to talk to his mama every single day. That's one sign. He got to talk to his mama every single day. And it's like, and he said, well, one day she going to be gone. But that's still not realistic. That's still not realistic. As a man, you got to be about your family. You got to focus on your family. You need to talk to your wife and your children every day. You ain't got to talk to your mama every day. If you live every day like it's your last, then you wouldn't even be going to work. If I know it's my last day, that's gonna look totally different than what I'm doing today. So that ain't a realistic excuse. So now it's okay to talk to his mama, but when he talk to his mama, let's say he talk to her every day, a mama boy gonna talk to her every day in front of you, or he gonna let you know he talked to her. Where he could talk to her on his lunch break, 15, 30 minutes, and you ain't got to know that. That ain't in your face. That's not in his woman's face to where he's letting you know. But see, some men gonna use that. A mama's boy gonna use that and say, he gonna let you know, like, she number one in my life. My mama number one in my life, you number two. What my mama say goes. Then he gonna call his mama about everything. He gonna call his mama. When y'all get into it, y'all having an argument, he calling his mama to get her opinion. His mama might not bit more know what she talking about than the man on the moon, than a can of paint. But he gonna call her for her advice. And then he's gonna come back to the woman and tell the woman, this what my mama said, what my mama said, what my mama said. That's a mama's boy. Now understand this. There's no reversing this. There's no reversing this. Unfortunately, that's the life that they chose. His mama chose to raise him like that. And she just gonna have to deal with either a weak woman being in her son's life. And that's what she want. She want him to have a weak woman that he can run all over so that he can continue to be babied and spoiled. And it's no reversing that. If you see a man who he put his mama before you, and this is what I mean by putting his mama before you, meaning that she able-bodied, she healthy, she happy, she whole. She might not be happy, but she healthy. She might not be whole, but she healthy, she able-bodied. She still doing fine. She could work, she could walk, she could talk, still doing fine. But he put her opinion. He lets her opinion run his household. She lets her opinion affect his relationship. He gotta talk to her every single day to get his little fix, to get his little mama's boy fix. The way he's and it is affecting you. I was on the phone with my mama the other day, because I'm a put in a new house, and so we looking at houses or whatever. And so I do for my mama. I try to help her. I bought her a new car a couple years ago, and now she asked me for a new car. The answer is no. And so, but I help my mama where I can help her. But me and my mama, we talk on the phone, like on the phone where I can hear her voice. She texts me every day, Bible scriptures or what have you. She texts me every day. But I'm a working man. I'm busy. I'm coaching clients. I'm doing this right here. Then I'm with my family. I tell people all the time, I really don't have free time. So typically when I'm on the phone with family, friends and family, I'm driving. I'm driving somewhere or coming from somewhere. But other than that, I'm working in my purpose and I'm with my family. So my free time, you got to catch me while I'm driving, because I don't like taking time away from my family. And the Bible say, a man will forsake his mother and father and cleave to his wife. My mama understand that. So she don't demand my time every day. She don't call me every day. She say, are you by yourself? When she text me, she'll say, are you by yourself? Can you talk? Hey, call me when you can. And she know I love her. And I keep in mind that she ain't gonna be here forever. But that don't make me call her every day, because I understand that's also a natural part of life. Everybody got to go. But just because somebody got to go don't mean you sit on the phone and talk to them all day, because now when they do go, you gonna be so messed up. You ain't gonna be like, oh, I'm glad I got to spend so much time. You gonna be like, I need to go too. Take me too. So you have to find a healthy balance to where you give your mama time, but you also become a grown man and you live your life, and you realize that, you can't carry her. Now it's different when she's comes to an age to where she can't take care of herself, and you gotta be there. Even, and really not just you being there, but if you can afford it, you got a nurse there, and you on that nurse head, you talking that nurse, you in that nurse face, and you let her know, like, listen, nanny cam right there, nanny cam right there, phone call coming here, phone call coming there, I'm checking you, I'm watching you, I'm on you. You see what I mean? And you still managing your family, but you making sure, whether if it's in a nursing home or whether it's in the comfort of her home with a 24-hour nurse or what have you, you making sure that things taken care of, but you still managing your family. And then it's going to be seasons where a man has to give his mom, an exorbitant amount of time. And that's fine. That's fine, because it's a season and it's something that got to get done. She going through a surgery, she going through a sickness, and he focused and he locked in. That's not a mama's boy. That's a man addressing the season, dressing for the season that he's in his life. See, a mama's boy is the type of man that he let his mama still dictate his household as an adult. He makes his wife feel disrespected by throwing his mama in her face. That's a mama's boy. So don't get this confused with the men who you a mama's boy, but you trying to argue because I'm stepping on your toes. Oh, so you saying just let my mama die? Oh, so you saying my mama going through cancer and I'm just supposed to let her go through cancer by herself for a woman? Man, you stupid. I'm not saying that, and I ain't saying that. But if you've been misusing and abusing the fact that that's your mama, and you throwing that in your woman's face, trying to make her feel less than, trying to make her compete against your mama, then you know what you're doing, and you're dead wrong. So my wife ain't never heard, well, my mama said I need to do this. The decision between me and my wife. I lean on my daddy. I'm fortunate enough to have a father. I call him, I get his insight, but even then, the decision between me and my wife. Don't nobody make decisions for our household but me and my wife. Because sometimes it might be a daddy's girl. And so all this right here that I just said, this applies the same thing to a daddy's girl. So if you're doing this as a woman with your dad, same thing applies to you. If you're doing this as a woman with your mama, same thing applies to you. If you're doing this as a man with your dad, or as a woman with your mama, same thing applies to you. So don't be asking me, can you do a daddy's girl video? It's all this sound the same way. Just invert the information. Okay, y'all got to learn how to use inference. All right, infer, read between the lines. Okay, so understand what I'm telling you. When you find out that this a mama's boy, one of the signs is he on the phone with her every day and you know about it. It's different he talk to her and you don't know about it. But when he make it known to you that he talk to his mama every day, that's one sign. The other sign is when he bringing her advice to you. You got a question about your life. He said, let me call my mama and ask her opinion. Or y'all got a question about y'all life. Let me call my mama. My mama said we ought to do this. That's another sign you got a mama's boy. Another sign is when he comparing you to his mama. Well, my mama used to cook it like this. This is my mama recipe right here. This is the way my mama used to cook it. Well, my mama fold like this. Well, my mama do dishes like this. Well, my mama do wash the car like this. Well, this is the way my mama used to do the bills. When he comparing you to her and he wants you to adopt her system, that's another sign you got a mama's boy. You see what I'm saying? When y'all get upset, y'all have a disagreement, he go to his mama, you got a mama's boy. When he need to leave or he want to leave 24 hours, 72 hours, week, 2 weeks, he go to his mama house. You got a mama's boy. Instead of sitting in the kitchen, working through this thing, talking through this thing, getting past it, you got a mama's boy. So, and understand this now, that ain't gonna be able to change. It'll be, he'll have to go through a real intervention. He got to talk to me. He got to talk to the top therapists in the country. He got to watch this video 10 times and just see how ridiculous he looking, how ridiculous he sounding, and hear the backstory of why he is the way he is. He gonna get offended by this. Go tell his mama about this, that you showed him this video. And then his mama gonna tell him you ain't worth it and you worthless. And any woman that's try to send her husband a video or her boyfriend a video to separate him from his mama is a demon and a devil. And he gonna turn this into you trying to separate him from his mama. Oh, you want me to just forget my mama. Or you want me to cut my mama off for you. And nobody's saying that. What we saying is set boundaries. Become a man of your own life, a man of your own household. Make decisions for your own household and stop acting like you still a little boy and you got to go to your mama to get everything approved as if she knows right. Is your mama a billionaire who got peace, love, and happiness? If not, then she don't know everything. So just because your mama been married 40 years don't mean she know everything. At the end of the day, regardless of what she know, what do you know as a man? What are you learning as a man? Okay, you want to talk to your mom every day? Talk to her every day. If your mom in the last stretch of her life and she going to be gone in 5 years, 2 years or less, you want to talk to her every day? Okay, this is a season. Talk to her every day. But you can talk to your mom without throwing that in your wife or your woman face to say, well, my mama said you need to do this. My mama said we need to do this. My mama said. You don't have to throw that in their face. Because at the end of the day, when you with somebody, they want to know that you with them. They want to know that it's y'all, that y'all a team. They want to know that they a star player on the team. They don't want to know that your brother, your sister, your mama, your daddy, whoever else got more say-so in their own household than they have. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. My wife talked to her dad, but she don't come telling me my dad said do this, my dad said do that. Now, if it's something to where it's a strong area that he has, she may throw that out there. But me as a man, I'm gonna respect it. But it's at the same time, she know I don't care what your daddy said, and I know she don't care what my daddy said, what my mama said. We're gonna make the best decision for our family, and so we understand that. So it may be a time or two to where you say, well, my daddy said this, my dad said we should do this, my mom said we should do this, but you ain't doing that every day. You ain't bringing that every week. My wife, she know not to bring me her daddy advice for my household. That he run his household, I run my household. And I know not to bring her my mama advice or my daddy advice for this household. Same with her mama. That don't nobody run my household. And so that's what a relationship is. That's what a marriage is. And that's why the Bible says a man will forsake his mother and father and cleave to his wife. And the two shall become one. So that's what you have to realize. When you get in a relationship, you gotta cut that umbilical cord. When you get married or you get in a serious relationship that's moving towards marriage, you gotta cut that umbilical cord. You gotta be in a place to where now you know and you doing the right thing for your household, and you not see this a thing now. That's what it is. You not weaponizing your family member. And this apply across the board. For some people, it might not be their mama. It might be their older sister or their sister. It might be their brother. might be their cousin, might be their best friend. So this is called the mama's boy, but this really talking to any friend or family member that somebody takes and weaponizes and uses them in their relationship to spite their partner, to disrespect their partner, to make their partner feel less than, and to make the partner feel like you come second or third or fourth and you're not first in my life. Because see, the number one relationship, when you get into a relationship, a healthy and committed relationship, is your spouse. That's who comes first. My mama know my wife come first because that's my commitment. That's my covenant under God. So my mama know that if I got to do something for my wife, I got to go somewhere with my wife, I'll get to her unless it's a situation that requires immediate attention. So understand, I'm not saying that your mom on her deathbed and you ignore her to talk on the phone with your woman. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, you don't take and your mama say, hey, I need some money. But then your own household got to pay the lights and y'all already got a final notice, and you let your lights get cut out to give your mama some money when she grown and mismanaging her money, and you know she mismanaging her money. Now she needs some money and she disabled and she great with her money, but it just hard times. She didn't get her SSI check. She didn't get whatever kind of check. Okay, that's different. But even then, that might mean like, mama, if I helping you, I'm gonna be in foreclosure or eviction if I'm helping you. So guess what? In this season, you just gonna have to come stay with us. You may have to do that. Or you may have to say, look, okay, if I got to take care of mama, I got to take care of my household, I'm going to have to pick up a second job, or I'm going to have to work overtime. They offering overtime. I'm going to have to stop turning it down, and I'm going to have to take it for that season of your life. As a man, you do what you got to do. But understand, you don't weaponize your mom against your woman. You don't go to your mama with all your arguments, and this goes both ways now. Just go vice versa. You don't go to your mom or whoever with all of your arguments with your woman and then have your mama disliking your woman. And then you going to your mama telling her everything that your woman do. Got your mama disliking your woman, telling you everything you want to hear against your woman. Then you come back resenting your woman, but yet you still up under her, sniffing her behind. So how you going to stay in a relationship and have resentment for the woman? And this is why so many relationships are opponents instead of teammates, because y'all run and tell that, and then y'all get to hear everything you want to hear, because the person you talking to, you only telling them what your partner doing wrong. You ain't telling them all the wrong and nastiness that you doing. You ain't telling them how immature you are. You just telling them about your partner and all their wrongs. So then the person you talking to, they just telling you how right you are. You believe your self-righteousness, you start to believe it, then you go back into your relationship with resentment and disdain towards your partner. Now you sleeping with the enemy. And then you coming on here complaining about relationships don't work, marriage is overrated, this and that and all this. And it's really because of how you doing it, how you going about this thing. So listen to me, understand this right here. If you mess around and you meet a mama's boy and you notice, you're going to notice he a mama's boy in the first 3 months. You're going to notice he a mama's boy. If you don't and it pop up in this first 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, understand this right here. You either going to compromise and say, listen, I know she's not going to be here forever. So I'm going to just let him use her advice on me. Let him run and tell on me to her. I'm going to put up with her phone calls, that's just reinforcing all his grown boy behavior and telling me to put up with it because that's what men do and that's what she did with his father or with his stepfather. I'm just going to put up with it because it's not going to be forever. And so you either make that choice or you realize that ain't going to change. If a man was raised as a mama's boy, it really 99% of the time, it's not gonna change. That's just how you gonna be. That's just how you gonna be. My mama didn't raise me as a mama boy just because, she wasn't raised like that. She had to fend for herself. She wash clothes, fold clothes, iron clothes, clean up, cook. She had 11 siblings. You know what I mean? So probably lived in a house with maybe 6, 7, 8, I don't know. And so when it came to me, my mom, she didn't serve me hand and foot. She didn't, she washed, she did the laundry and stuff like that and clean, but I didn't have a hot breakfast. I ate breakfast at school. My sons get a hot breakfast at home every day. I didn't have a hot breakfast. She made sure I was fed, but she didn't sit down and do homework with me because she couldn't. She didn't give me all the advice because my dad was there giving all the advice. My mom, she just she throw me a positive affirmation here and there and quote scriptures and stuff like that, but she didn't coddle me. She didn't sit and just hug me and caress me. She didn't baby me. She let my dad discipline me. When she got mad enough, she slapped me upside the back of the head when she fire hot, or she'll whoop me, to the point of, I got one whooping so bad the belt, cut me on the back of the leg. She would hit me so hard. So yeah, I know y'all will call that, DCF and all that, but that's not where I'm coming from. Not where I'm from, boy. Ooh-wee. Folks used to get some whooping, way worse. So I never was a mama's boy. So I grew up, and my mama, she was tough on me. She loved me, but she was tough on me. And so now at this stage of my life, it's like I don't feel the need to call her every day, and we talk on text about it every day, but I don't feel the need to ask her for her advice about what I need to do in my life and all of this, and go to her telling on my wife if I disagree with something. I don't feel the need to do that because I just was not raised to depend on my mama input and opinion, because she didn't insert herself in my life in that way. And so that's what I mean. It's a lot of women that's how you raising your son. You raising him to be dependent upon you, so that, and I have to try to check my wife all the time. It's like when you have so much to say and you have so much opinion to where your son or daughter not gonna be able to make a decision on their own. And while they talking to somebody else, somebody asked them a question, they answering the question but looking at you. Looking at the mama for her reinforcement, for her feedback, to see if she okay with this answer. And when you do that, you raising a mama's boy or a mama's girl, whatever you want to call it, or a daddy's boy or a daddy's girl, because you're not giving enough room for your child to think independently, because you want them to be your spawn. You want them to be, your replica. You want them to think and behave and do everything the same way that you would do it, instead of just teaching them right from wrong and holding them accountable, teaching them character and integrity, and then letting their personality show up and do things the way they would do it. So these men who have been raised to depend on their mama opinion, depend on her breast milk, depend on her nurturing and her caring, they raised to depend on their mama. When they become a grown man, now they don't know how to function in a relationship, because they got to keep calling mama. What mama got to say? What mama got to say? What mama got to say? And that's the issue. And guess what? If it's not a man there to hold the woman accountable, or to show that other side, say, listen, this what you doing, this what's gonna happen, like it is in my household, then it's just gonna happen. And so I'm addressing this because so many women have asked me, and I thought this would be just kind of like a boring, useless video, and I'm like, I don't want to talk about these sorry mama boys, but I figure I keep getting this question, so hopefully this makes sense to you. And so I know the last question is, so if I'm with a mama's boy, what do I do? What you can do is you can take this information, and instead of sharing it with him, from me, you put it in your own words, and you sit down and you have a town hall meeting and say, listen, this is the way I'm feeling. Like, I really feel like you're putting your mom against me and me against your mom. And it feels toxic, it feels abusive, it feels controlling. And he may try to cut you off, may try to get loud. You let him do what he got to do, and then you go right back to what you were saying. Okay? You go right back to what you were saying. Don't let him run from this heat. He gonna have to stand this heat. And if he can't stand this heat, he might go run and tell his mama about this conversation. Let him feel this here heat, and you keep talking to him, but you cool, calm, and collected. And you say, you know, it's really not healthy. And imagine if I called my mom every day, and I called her every day, and I talked to her about you, and I told her every little thing that you did and everything you said and everything that I didn't like, and then I came back to you and I rubbed it in your face of what my mom said. Or if not that, imagine if we need to make a decision for our household, and I go to my mom every day or every time and I ask her, what should we do? And then I come back to you and say, my mom said we should do this. How would you feel to not have say so or control in your life, in your household as an adult? And he's going to pretend that he doesn't get what you're saying. He doesn't see where you're coming from. He may take shots. He may belittle you and say, well, it's different. Me asking my mom. My mom is a degree holder. She's a principal of a school. She's a president. She's a CEO. She's a superintendent. She's successful. She's accomplished. Your mom was an orphan. Your mom was raised in group homes. Your mom didn't graduate high school. Your mom had 3 baby daddies. My mom had 1. You know, if that's the case, he may try to be condescending. He may try to belittle your mama, try to show you how your mama is not on the level of his mama. That's, again, toxic abuse. Is showing you who you with. So sit down and have this conversation and see how he responds to it. See if he can say, you know what? See, when you put the mirror in a man's face, a good man, when you put the mirror in his face, he should be able to see himself and to see what it would feel like if you were treating him the way he's treating you. He should be able to see that, recognize that, acknowledge that, and say, you know what, you're right. You're right. And I'm going to work on that, and I'm going to do better. He may slip up and mess up again. But in a situation like this, it's not really a deal breaker if he's trying. And then you hold him accountable. Now, if you come to the point to where you've done everything, you've given everything, you've tried everything, and he's still a mama's boy, he's still weaponizing his mother against you, he's still letting her dictate his life and dictate your life because you're in his life and you're with him, and he refuses to be a man, he refuses to grow up, he refuses to cut the umbilical cord, take the breast out of his mouth, get off the breast milk and get on some whole milk, you know, some water, some soda. You might want to get on Budweiser to get off the breast milk. But whatever it is, if he's unwilling to do that, now you know your life is going to be like a prison sentence if you stay in the relationship and you have a decision to make. Live in prison, in solitary confinement, slavery, whatever you want to call it, or set yourself free and say, listen, you were not raised to be a husband. You were not taught to be a husband. And I don't feel comfortable putting my life in the hands of someone who cannot sit down and have a conversation with their teammate and make a decision for their life and have to go to their mother to bring back what she feels, because your mom is not always going to be here. So if you depend on everything your mom say, when your mom is gone, then our life, I'm going to get led into a ditch because you're so dependent upon her. So you have to tell him that blood raw, just like how I just said it, just real, just to the point. And that's your breaking point. That's your closure. And you let them know I got to move on. When you move on with your life, you pack up, you move out, you file for divorce, whatever it may be. It may be then. It may be the straw that broke the camel's back. Because remember, a mama's boy, if he's not cheating and abusing, then it's not the end of the world. So if you have to walk all the way away to where he feels like you are gone for good, and then he gets the picture, and then in the silence where he's trying to reach you and he cannot reach you for 2 weeks, he's been calling you every day. In his silence, if he starts to look and he says, you know what? My mom cost me my relationship. And I realized that she cost me my relationship because she has a hold on me. She has me brainwashed. She has me trapped. And she's miserable in her life because my dad is not treating her right, or because she's single, or because she's a widow. And she doesn't want another woman to have me because she wants me to pay her bills and wants me to take care of her. So she's giving me bad advice, knowing that I'm not innocent, knowing that I'm guilty, and even more so guilty than my woman. But she's coddling me and catering to me to make me despise my woman, to leave my woman so that I can take care of her and be her king, because she doesn't want to see me move on with my life because she feels like I will forget her. She feels like she won't have her way with me. She won't be able to keep manipulating money out of me while she's spending money, frivolously and being a bad steward over her finances. But yet she knows she can keep coming back to me and keep coming back to me. And she knows that my wife or my woman doesn't have a say-so because she has complete control. See, in his silence, he may come to this epiphany and say, wow. And then he comes to you with a voicemail that articulates that. What I just said. He articulates that. He apologizes for that. He says, I see the light and I'm ready to make a change. If he does not articulate that, if he does not apologize for that, if he does not admit to that is what it is, then he's not going to change. He first has to admit it in order for him to change. Then when he admits it and he apologizes, and then you can talk to him and he says, what's the plan? Then you give him specific examples of things that he cannot do and have a healthy relationship with you, like calling her for her advice on a decision that you and him need to make. Comparing your cooking and your cleaning to her cooking and her cleaning, your parenting to her parenting. He cannot do that for you and him to have a healthy relationship. You have to give him specific examples so he can see the light. And when he sees this, he recognizes this, he owns up to this, this is how he changes. See, a man can only change from under the influence of one woman by the influence of another woman. So a wife's influence. Make sure you get the book, A Woman's Influence, so you really know what I'm hitting on. A wife's influence is supposed to replace the influence of the mother. The mother is supposed to hand her son off to a good woman because she knows she's not going to be here. She got to cut the umbilical cord and let him go. And it's a woman's job to raise her son to be an independent thinker and to be a husband, not codependent or a dependent of her, that he's going to need her for the rest of her life. And so if you're a woman raising a son or a daughter, you're raising children, this is a lesson for you. If you're with somebody who is a mama boy, mama girl, daddy girl, this lesson is for you. Listen to it 2 or 3 times because, you with my riffs and rants, you're going to have to stay focused and get the whole message. But listen to it until it makes sense, until you get it. If it still don't make sense, you can't really apply it, then you need a one-on-one session. You can click the link in the description, go to my mentor, find me on there. Hey, God bless you. We'll talk soon.